and welcome. In this video, I will be going over the spyware Pegasus and its apparent link to 3 mass shootings in America. But first, let me explain the spyware Pegasus. The spyware Pegasus is a military-grade spyware which can access any mobile device and give the hacker administrator privileges. There are many documentaries and reports on the spyware Pegasus on YouTube, most notably from Frontline and Vice. In a nutshell, the spyware Pegasus can access any mobile device without the user even having to click on a link. The spyware exploits what they call a zero-click vulnerability on mobile devices. Once accessed, the hacker has access to all files on the target's mobile device, which includes text messages, bank account information, photos, and so on. The hacker is also given access to the mobile device's microphone and camera, which are used as a remote listening and viewing device by the hacker.
With just a single text, it can bypass your phone's security and install spyware that grants complete access to your device. It can access every message you've ever sent. It can access every message you've ever received. It can access every photo, every video, every email. It can turn on your microphone. It can turn on the microphone even when you're not using a phone call and just record what you're doing in the room. It can turn on your camera. It can record what's on your screen. It can access your GPS. It can monitor your location. And it can do all of this without you ever knowing. The spyware technology that makes this possible is called Pegasus.
The spyware Pegasus has been sold to numerous countries around the world by the Israeli-based company NSO Group, including the United States of America. Frontline, Vice, and other news media outlets have reported on the abuses of this spyware all around the world. Pegasus was sold to the Federal Bureau of Investigation for $5 million in 2019. The FBI claims that the spyware was procured for testing and evaluation only. Further, the FBI claims the spyware has not been used in any investigation. After procuring the spyware Pegasus, the FBI renamed the spyware Phantom. If the FBI was going to use the spyware Phantom on Americans, would they make it public that they are now using a spyware so sophisticated it can access any phone remotely, access all files on mobile device, listen and watch through the mobile device's microphone and camera? The spyware works best when targets don't know about the FBI's capability. Secondly, Pegasus abuses by governments have been documented around the world by Frontline, Vice, and other media outlets. Are we supposed to believe that the Federal Bureau of Investigation and police departments with their track record of human and civil rights abuses have not used and abused the spyware Phantom? This brings me to the mass shooters, but first here is a clip from the Vice report, The World's Most Terrifying Spyware.
Knowing that you are targeted extract a huge psychological toll on you. Perhaps do not want to speak to people because you don't want to compromise them, so you stop communicating. Pegasus cuts the network of practice that confronts state crimes.
I've spent the past year and a half talking to over a dozen targets of Pegasus. So these are people who had experiences with arrests and imprisonment. And yet, when they were describing their experience of hacking, some were close to tears. They were talking about nightmares, psychological distress, emotional distress.
The first mass shooter I would like to discuss is Ahmad Alissa of Boulder, Colorado. According to Ahmad Alissa's family and friends, he believed someone was chasing him and investigating him. Someone was behind him. He covered his computer camera with duct tape. He believed his old school was hacking his phone and posted at one time, "Let me have a normal life if I could." Alissa's identity was known to the FBI, and according to the FBI, this was because he was linked to another individual under investigation by the Bureau. Andre Bing, the Chesapeake, Virginia mass shooter, had black tape over his phone camera, and according to his coworkers, he made statements like the government was listening to him through his mobile phone microphone. In his manifesto, he claimed that he remained strong throughout his torment, but his dignity was taken away from him beyond repair after his phone was hacked. He stated in his manifesto that being hacked was the worst feeling imaginable. Brandon Scott Hull, the Indianapolis, Indiana mass shooter, was known to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He had prior run-ins with the FBI, and the FBI admits to having him under surveillance. At some point in time, he had made remarks that he wanted to commit suicide by cop. Why by cop? When looking at these 3 mass shooters, it is apparent that they were all under extreme psychological and emotional duress. The first 2 claiming they were hacked, and the last saying he wanted to commit suicide by cop and was under surveillance by the FBI at some point in time. Was this duress inflicted by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and local law enforcement? Was this duress the result of the military-grade spyware Phantom hack? As I questioned earlier in this video, Would the FBI and police make it public they were using the spyware Phantom and alert everyone of its use, or would they keep it quiet and use the spyware to gather intelligence secretly? With the police's history of civil and human rights abuses, such as abusing qualified immunity, racial profiling, warrantless searches, false arrests, assaults, and so on, would it be a surprise that the Federal Bureau of Investigation and police used and abused the spyware Phantom? It is public knowledge that they have it, but according to them, it was not used nor abused like the aforementioned human and civil rights abuses they carry out on a daily basis. Thank you and God bless.